let me find out that Cameron is a donkey. Let me find out Cameron is giving microaggression. I'm not saying he is. I'm saying the exchange on the bus with Orion. Okay. It definitely looked away. Definitely looked away. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. Married at First Sight, season 17. We still in Denver, y'all. Episode 4. Goodbye, single life. Hello, marriage. They ain't even thinking nothing clever to say. That's how you know. Who did the writing for this? Were the writers still on strike? Nobody in production can come up with something a little more clever. Where's the chat GPT of it all? Anywho, if you are a brand new viewer or a returning viewer that is not yet subscribed, I hope this is the video that changes your mind and convinces you to join the Tamily over here. As always, if you enjoy the video, please hit the like button. Hit the like button, y'all. Let's try to get the likes up. And then hop in the comment section. Let's talk about anything that I might have missed, because my notes are very far and few in between, okay? I hate, this is the one episode that I hate the most of every season. Why do we have to meet with the family? I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it sets bad precedent. All they ever do is like instill fear and panic. It's just not a good scenario, but let's talk about it, y'all. So Austin and Becca. So we're leaving the honeymoons. Everybody's back and ready to spend their first night as husband and wife. So they're rolling in bed and she kind of pushes him away. I said, that's because you got all them stitches and shit going on. Now, at first, I was rolling with Becca, but shout out to comedian Jasmine W. Her recaps are okay. She pointed out that it's really not fair for Becca to have been picked because you're really just dumping all of this on Austin. And I'm really starting to feel that way too. Nonetheless, they get undressed, get in their pajamas, and he put his cap on. Why you got this hat on to go to sleep? I also don't like the fact that he didn't shove underneath his second chin. It's just a lot of things that bother me about their entire scene. So let's move on to Lauren and Orion. So he's taking down her dress. She's taking down his hair. We're getting ready. He said he doesn't want sex to cloud their chemistry or like the bond that they have so far. What happened to that birth certificate? Or was that just a bunch of lip service? Okay, because if you slanging and hanging like you say you are, I would think you would be ready to lay low and spread it wide. But hey, maybe not. Maybe not. He said, but if she's DTF, he's DTF as well. I said, okay. So she gets in bed without her hair wrapped up. And I said, oh, Miss Lauren, oh, we know better, sis. So she then at first was like, I don't care. But she gets out the bed, gets him a bonnet. She puts on the bonnet. One thing that I kind of don't want Lauren to do is to kind of like black-explain everything to him. I feel like whenever she does something that is not exclusively to us, to Black people, I feel like she like explains it. And it's like, you don't have to, because he's not a child. You know what I mean? So like later in the episode, when she said that she had on a scarf to lay down her edges, she's like, do you know what that means? Let's not do that. Let's not do that. The same way, like, I wouldn't want somebody to mansplain anything to me. I would never then black-explain anything to somebody else. And that's what I think she's doing. But we'll see how long this is going to go. So she gives this man a bonnet. I feel like you got all that hair, Orion. You just lay down. You don't put nothing on you don't wrap that head up anyways. But okay, welcome to the world of bonnets. And then he asks her if he can kiss her again. And then they go to bed. Claire and Cameron. So Claire was getting herself together, pajamas on. He come knock on the door and it's like, I need to get in the shower. Something about Cameron. I can't quite put my finger on it. And I think that Claire's attitude, I think that Claire's, I don't want to say deficiency. Claire's negatives are going to outweigh Cameron's because they're going to be more jarring. Because I feel like people are going to see him as, oh, the sweet boy next door. He owns a bike shop and he just wants love. I feel like that's how people are going to look at him. But he's given rude already. So she said that she doesn't even know if he's attracted to her. She didn't have a chance to like really finish brushing her teeth and stuff. Her dress is crumpled on the floor. She didn't have time to do any of that because he like bust into the bathroom. So he then comes back to bed in a robe, and she's like, in her confessional, we haven't talked, we haven't, held hands, we haven't done any of this stuff. I don't even know if he likes me because he hasn't complimented her or told her that he's attracted to her yet or that he finds her attractive. So she kind of feels away. He's laying in the bed in his robe. I said, what's underneath the robe? You got something on underneath there? Because it's given I came out all natural. Okay? So he then tells her the minute she stops talking, he's going to be out. And she was like, so are you saying to stop talking? And the way he kind of looked at her, she was like, fine, I'll stop talking. I don't think he likes her. I don't think he likes her. I think she sees him as handsome, and Claire seems very nervous and apprehensive, but I think Claire needs what is that called? I think Claire needs, why can't I think of the word? It's not verification, Lord. Validation. I think Claire needs validation, and the fact that he's not necessarily giving it to her is like, it's making her nervous. It's kind of stressing her out to where she's starting to like recoil back into herself. So we then pan over to Brendan and Emily. They're so tired they could just go to sleep in their tux and in the dress, but they don't. They eventually go get dressed into their pajamas, whatever. And they're both saying, I wish the cameras would leave. Oh my God, me too. What y'all about to do? What y'all about to do? And then we see them start to kiss. So the next morning we have Claire and Cameron. So they're waking up. And she said that, she slept decently, but when she would wake up middle of the night, she had to keep reminding herself of who he was. I feel like that's valid. That's standard. You don't know this man? Standard. He was like, yeah, I think I just ignored that you were here. Now, I feel like, he could be joking, right? It's a real possibility he's joking. I am a person, though, that I kind of feel like there's truth behind every joke. I feel like there is truth behind every joke. Every single one. I've always felt that. Like whenever somebody throws a joke, especially if it's like at your expense or to your detriment, that there's some truth in their mind to that. But okay. So they get breakfast. She got avocado toast. She thought it was salmon at first, but I guess it's like a ribboned carrot on top. He tells the story about his grandma and these carrots. I didn't listen, y'all. I promise I didn't. Because I was like, where is this going? But I guess his grandma led like the carrot fleet or something. I don't know. So she was like, whoa, your grandma's kind of badass. Like she was listening. She enjoyed it. And he tells her that him and his grandma have the same personality. Like that was his like best friend, the closest person to him, because they were so much alike. He then leads that to say, but she never told me she loved me. And I was like, what? And he was like, but I knew it through like the way that she would act. And he was like, I am the kind of the same way. I show my love, my affection with physical touch and physical things and stuff like that. And she was like, well, I didn't grow up like that at all. Like I'm very verbal with mine. I vocalize love and how I feel about people. Because he said that he'll go the whole day thinking, my God, I love her, I love you, but will never say it to her. Now I'll say this. Two different grandmothers. My paternal grandmother hugs and kisses every time she saw us, constantly told us she loved us. We knew we were loved with that grandmother. My maternal grandmother didn't do any of that, but we still knew we were loved. You know what I mean? Like she took care of us, she cooked for us. Like we knew that we were loved, but she just wasn't a person that said it. So my mom grew up in a household where she didn't hear that all the time. And she'll say it like she didn't hear that all the time. Her mom didn't hug her and stuff all the time, but there was never a doubt in her mind that her mom loved her or that she grew up in a loving household. So I think it's just the way that people show love. It's just different love languages. They have different love languages, and it seems like theirs are the stark opposite, and it's going to cause big problems for them communication wise. So Brendan and Emily are waking up. They didn't have sex. She said she can tell that he wants to take it slower, so she put a pause on things as well. We get a conversation with them about how hot they want the house, how cool they want the house. She likes to sleep with the windows open in the winter. Girl in Colorado? Okay. I mean, maybe she runs hot as a person. They're boring to me so far. So far, they're boring to me, and I think it's because Brennan is a boring person. He's very monotone. He just seems like a boring person. We then get Becca and Austin, where he put that hat back on this morning. Now, y'all, his hat didn't bother. It doesn't bother me that he wears it backwards. It bothers me. Like, why do you have it on? If I was her, I would have to ask him, why you keep putting that hat on? What's going on? Is it a hairpiece? What's real? What's true tea? Because for you to put that hat on when you put your pajamas on already was kind of like, okay. But for you to wake up and put the hat on again too, like, what are we doing and why are we doing it? But she decides to use this as an opportunity to talk about her surgeries, how she had an exploratory surgery that led to her having, she say, endometriosis, which led to her them going in and finding that a bunch of stuff, she was in bad shape, as she says. She was in bad shape on the inside, so she had all these other surgeries. So she starts talking about all of this stuff while then telling him she has an autoimmune disorder that causes her to have like constant back pain, or she say spine pain. And he's like, so you always in pain? And she's like, always, but she's been in pain for so long that it's normal to her, which is very, very sad to hear somebody say that, I'm always in pain. I've always been in pain. So because of that, this is normal to me. That's sad to hear. But I also kind of feel like it's not fair to dump all of that on him and then ask him, so, but you're okay with that, right? How do you feel about that? You didn't give him time to process it. So it's one thing for you to have the back injury or back pain or whatever the case. It's one thing for you to have had these surgeries, so you're sore. She said that she can't like cliff jump and all this other type of stuff that she would normally do. It's one thing to have that, but then to put on him too that you have an autoimmune disorder, like it seems like a lot. It seems like a lot, and I'm not saying that she does not deserve love, because she does, absolutely. But I don't know if it's necessarily fair for you to come on the show and now your husband blindly has to bear the weight of this. Y'all know what I mean? But he seems to be okay with it for now. We'll see how Austin feels, after the honeymoon. So we then get Lauren and Orion. They're talking about their morning routines. He said he likes it quiet in the morning. She said, well, I've been living by myself for so long that, she must wake up and get loud and get to talking and stuff like that. They then talk about how they are going to deal with arguing, which was a very good conversation to have now, because it looked like on the honeymoon they get into it. So they have that conversation. This episode, it really wasn't giving, y'all. It wasn't. And I think it's because this is just a very boring episode between the weddings and the honeymoon. So now we're going to meet the families for whatever reason, because they talked to them at the receptions. So Emily and Brennan. Emily is meeting up with his people. She said that she knows that she is career driven, but she wants to get to a good balance. She said she would love to be like a housewife, but she also just really likes to work. So she's trying to find work on the work-life balance. She wants to be able to pour into her relationship the way that she now pours into work. They tell her he's abrupt, stubborn, and gets annoyed when things don't go his way. I said, oh, so he's an overgrown child. Got it. So then over at Brennan's side, um, he said that they're asking him how he would deal with her having to work long hours. Emily just said she's career driven, so apparently she works long hours sometimes. He said if she communicates way ahead of time, it's fine. But if it's last minute and it's multiple occasions, we're gonna have to talk about that. What you gonna do? Call her boss and say Emily got to bring her ass home? I just kind of feel like I hate when people say stuff like that. Sometimes you do just get told you have to work late. My last position, we would suddenly get mandatory overtime. I can recall being in the office on a day and them saying, okay, we have to work, a mandatory 10 extra hours of overtime a week, which is 2 hours a day. And it's Monday at 2 p.m. So now I have to stay till 5:36. You know what I'm saying? Like, so sometimes it just happens. But the way that he said it was very much okay. It was very much eat the cake anime. That's how he be talking. I don't know if he means it that way, but that's how it comes across. So he then says that they ask him about conflict. And he said that, I can always do better with conflict resolution, and I'm looking to do better in the future. I said, he's talking like he's in the interview. I don't know, something about Brennan ain't right, y'all. He then tells her, like he's told us a million times, that divorce is not an option. I said, okay, Ike. So then we get Austin and Becca. So Austin is talking to her family, and he's telling them that his job is just okay, it's cool. They say she's going to inspire you to find something that you absolutely love doing. So she's she likes to inspire people to do good things. She's good at that. She's a good cheerleader in that way. They then ask him about Becca's health issues and how he's going to deal with that. The answer that he gave was cool for them, but it's also very, very early. And I keep saying that not because I think he's a terrible guy that is going to, drag her or anything. But again, it's a lot. It's already a lot to be married to a stranger, but to find out this stranger that is now your wife has all these debilitating issues, health issues. So we'll see. His family's cool. Her family's cool with it so far. Meanwhile, with Becca, they say that Austin likes to hang out every weekend. She says she hangs out every weekend too, not at the bar. She said, but sometimes, they're having like bake-offs. Is it a cupcake? Is it a muffin? Is it a bruffin? What? I said, oh, Becca. Becca will be too much for me. Becca is too much for me, I tell you that now. His mom looks like it is taking everything in her to be cordial. You got a monster-in-law, Becca. Just FYI, girl. It is taking her everything in her being to not be rude to this lady. So then we get Claire and Cameron. So she asks him, or they ask him if he's ready. Why did I write my notes like this? She is asking his family if he is ready for marriage. They give the I don't think he will sign up if he wasn't. Oh, that's not true. There have been numerous people these past 16 seasons that have signed up that have not been ready for marriage. They say that you have to kind of get to know him before his sweet side comes out, because he's definitely a Sour Patch Kid right now. Definitely a Sour Patch Kid right now. She asked if he's romantic. They said they don't know. That means no. That means no. You know if your friends are romantic because you hear it in conversation with when they have significant others and stuff like that. You know if your friends are romantic. So Cameron is with her sisters and her mom, and he tells them that he's definitely attracted to her. And to say, well, why don't you tell her that so she can stop being weird about it? He said that he has had 5 relationships that have been around a year long. So he dates for a year, he decompresses for a year. He date innocent. So one of them sisters is not playing, okay? So she's like, how do we know you're not going to decompress from my sister? We don't. Your sister chose to get married at first sight. She chose to get married at first sight, and this is what's going to happen. So he said that he thinks they're going to have a problem with communication when it comes to affection because he shows his affection physically. She shows her affection verbally. So he's like, if she's not verbally saying that she wants me to hug her or kiss her, I'm not going to just go ahead and do it. And that's true. That's true. Like I said, 2 complete different love languages that it's going to pose a problem. It's going to pose a problem. We then get Lauren and Orion. Lauren is meeting up with his sister and his mom. His mom ain't say one word. The way he was saying that his mom was going to come in and she was going to be, a stickler and very hard, his mama ain't say one word. I mean, his mom didn't say one word, y'all. Was there a language barrier? Because his mom seemed to understand everything Lauren was saying, but okay. So she wants them to know that she wants to be as loving as a partner as he deserves. She wants to be the type of partner that she would want. She then said that, she kept stressing on wanting this to be their relationship and just not hers. So, which means that we're equal in this. It's a 50-50 relationship. She then talks about she's okay with him living at home as long as he has been saving and, working towards some type of goal, which he's not. He hasn't been. You know how we know? Because we pan over to Orion. And he is there with her brother, her sister, and I think a cousin. Her brother's mustache was so distracting. It's too thick up here, sir. It's it's too thick. It's too much about the lip. I couldn't concentrate on anything in the scene because it like were they bicycle handles. I don't know what was going on with her brother's mustache, but I didn't like it. So Orion thinks that he has the capabilities of being a good husband. They then ask how he feels being married to an independent, strong Black woman. And he was like, I love that. I love it, coming from a matriarch myself. He then goes on to say, and then by her being a minority, okay? And I'm like, Orion. See, this how I know people just be saying anything. Because you just told her dad that you don't want a woman to walk over you. But you're happy that you got a strong, independent Black woman? Okay. Not saying that she's gonna walk over him, but I just feel like you completely changed your tune now because it didn't go the way that you thought it was gonna go with her father. They then asked, was he financially stable? Because that's something that Lauren is looking for. He said, well, I have a consistent check. That means no. Financially stable is not living check to check. Orion made it seem as if he lives check to check, which is odd because you live at home. Do you pay bills at home? Are you covering the cable? Do you have a car payment? Like it was, I don't know. Something about Orion is giving Steve tease, to be honest. Don't want to work, don't want to pay. I don't know. Something about Orion is just not, but I can tell you what Orion ain't been doing, saving no money. Orion ain't been saving money. So then we are finally headed to the honeymoon, y'all. They're going to Mexico. I'm sorry for sniffing in the microphone, y'all. My sinuses, my allergies, whatever it is in this Milwaukee weather, that it was like 30 degrees and raining today. I apologize. So are we at the airport? We're at the hotel. We're at the hotel lobby. Everyone's meeting up, meeting everybody's spouses, unnecessary scene. And then Michael comes. Why is Michael here, y'all? I'm sorry. Well, I think he seems like a very cool guy. I think Michael is handsome. I like his bayang. Y'all don't like his hair. I like his bayang. I like his glasses. I think Michael's all good and well, but we have seen Michael way too many times for him to not have gotten married. So Michael is now telling everybody this sad story, and they invite him on the honeymoon. No, you can't go. No, you can't go. You know why? Because one, you didn't get married. This is a honeymoon. Two, Tamara, I don't want to hear you talk about the fact that you got left at the altar. I don't want to see Michael again, y'all. If Michael don't pop up with this new wife y'all keep saying that he got, don't put him back on the screen. It's unnecessary. It's a waste of tape. It's a waste of film. And it's just unnecessary. It's almost not fair to him. So then Michael goes on to say that he doesn't want an apology. Don't apologize for doing what's best for you. No, fuck her, Michael. Fuck that heifer. Next scene. So then they go to get on the bus to head to the hotel, and Michael walks up on the bus. Have a good trip. Michael, go on and get your ass back in that hotel. Why are you on the bus? Like you a teacher or a parent seeing your kids off on the field trip. Go home, Michael. Don't come back around these people unless you have a wife on your arm. They're on the bus. Viva la Mexico, because we're headed to Mexico, right? Cameron is telling them we can't get too far off the reservation. Now, when he said it, I said, reservation? He looks at Orion and said, I'm sorry. Y'all. The face that Claire had the entire time of shock, embarrassment, horror, that was me. Cameron, the reservation, you know damn well it's not called a reservation. So Orion said, that's okay. I can hear ignorance. So then everybody is like, oh shit. So then Lauren is like, ignorance is not a negative. It's not a bad word. It just means that you don't know, which is true. A lot of people don't really know that the true definition of ignorance is somebody that just doesn't know, to lack the knowledge of, right? So Cameron then said, what about willful ignorance? Cameron? I don't want y'all to come in here and say that it's because he's not from America, because he's been here since high school. He's been here long enough. It gave microaggression. I'm not going to say it's racist like some of the people were saying on Twitter, but Cameron, you got one more time and I'm going to know something. So they finally land and we're in Mexico now. And now we focus on Cameron and Claire. And now is when the show starts. Okay. So they're in their hotel room. Claire said that Cameron didn't help her at the airport. She said, I'll get your bags, you can get mine. And he was like, yeah, because that's fair. So then he's like, you pack all this shit up and I guess I'll carry it. I said, oh, okay. So then she's like, you didn't help me at all at the airport. We flash back. We see her standing with her suitcase, like waiting for the rest of the group. Cameron's ass is down at the terminal. Y'all, I hollered. What you in a rush to go do, Cameron? Cameron said, bump y'all, I'm going to Mexico. So he said, I'm sorry, are you not able to carry your own suitcase? I said, Jesus. He then goes on to say, you didn't help me. Cameron, nigga, what? Wow. So she was like, it's common knowledge that you just kind of help a woman with her luggage. He is like, it's common knowledge not to assume women can't do things. I said, so, oh, you an asshole, Cameron. You're an asshole. And it's not like before somebody come in when women want to be feminist and women want to be independent. Chivalry should not be dead, right? It is common knowledge that when you are at an airport and you see a woman, I don't have to explain this to y'all. We are all adults. We're all adults. The audacity for him to say that I have been on work trips and I have had my male coworkers who I'm not married to, who I'm not dating, who I'm not fucking, that have offered to pull my suitcase, that have grabbed my backpack. Like it's just Cameron says your legs ain't broken. Yo, oh my God. So then they show a scene and she kept saying that you kept leaving me. They show her trying to like chase after him. He is like ahead of her trying to board the plane. It is legit people. It's like a group, a family in between them. And it's like Cameron. Oh my God. So she then said, "Is there anything about me that you want me to do differently? Anything I'm doing that bothers you?" And I want to say, girl, yeah, he don't want you to talk no more because I don't think he like you. He was like, "No, I think you're amazing." Very condescending, like, and she clocked it right away. She clocked that sarcasticness. So she said, "Well, I know that, we're comfortable together, but we aren't like there romantically yet." He looks shocked. How were you shocked, Cameron? Granted, we're not seeing everything. Claire could be doing a lot behind the scenes, but from what we seen on the color television, how were you shocked, Cameron? So Cameron in his confessional said he's confused about her bringing up physical touch because she brings up holding hands and all this stuff. He said that she was very adamant on not wanting to be touched. So then Claire starts talking in circles, rambling about, even though I don't really want to be touched, deep down inside, I want to be touched. I want to feel the instant gratification. But even though, in this side, Claire absolutely not says, either you want this man to hold your hand or you don't. Either you want a hug or you don't. But you can't tell him, don't touch me, and then feel as if he's in the wrong because he's not touching you. So Cameron is in his confessional looking like he is tied and through. He got that 5 o'clock shadow. He got a little stubble. Y'all done stressed him out to the point that he ain't shaved yet. And he said, I'm not going to touch somebody that doesn't want it. And that's it. That's it. If you are telling this man you don't want to be touched, he is not going to touch you. And y'all strangers too. And Claire, you kind of really give the let me speak to your manager tease. So, like, what do you expect? Let me know what y'all thought about Claire and Cameron. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode. If you have not already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up the video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Look at this, 33 minutes long. Ridiculous. Ridiculous.